Hey everyone, in this video I'll review my first round game in the Thanksgiving knockout tournament, and this is the successor to the top 50 tournament. It's been extended to the top 100 this time, but I mean there are 70,000 players on BGA playing Terraforming Mars, so if you're in the top 100 you're better than 99.8% of all players, so that's pretty good. And this one uses a single elimination knockout format, and we're playing with random maps for the first time. This is a new configuration that's available on BGA. In my first round, I drew the Elysium map, and I'm playing here against the Belgian player Ghost Dragon. And at the start of the game, he told me that he had never played on Elysium. This was his first time. I was kind of surprised because he's 600 plus ELO player, and this map has been around for a long time, both on the Steam app and on BGA, and most players have played this map in home games. It's one of the oldest maps, so kind of surprised to hear he had never played it. So what can we say about Elysium? Well, it's one of the most terraforming friendly maps that are available on BGA, and in my database I have statistics on how many generations games last on average, and Vestices Borealis is actually sort of the fastest map, where games end in just around 10 generations. But Elysium is a good second. The average game length on Elysium is about 10.4 generations, and if you're playing with two high-level players, such as here, games will be even faster, so let's say around 10 generations on average. And this will usually favor whoever is terraforming or rushing. And the reason for this is that you have this very fertile area in the middle of the map with lots of ocean rebates and plants, and this will generally speed up the game. So you have this desolate, barren area down in the south that's usually not, populated with tiles in the early stages of the game, but it can be relevant for the Desert Settler Award. I'd say that Elysium is not very popular amongst top players, and the main reason for that is that the milestones here are considered to be kind of random. So generalist, you need to have one of each in your production line. Specialist, you need to have 10 of one of them. And sometimes you can force these things, but that's usually not very good. So if you just happen to stumble upon 10 MC production, that's very good to begin with, and then you get a milestone as well. So that's kind of just like kind of a bit lucky. And you can say the same with Legend. Like if you just happen to find, cheap events like Hired Raiders, Sabotage, Mineral Deposit, Invention Contest, maybe you can just get Legend just like that, and very easy. And that's kind of luck based to some extent. And we have Ecologist. We saw on Vestices you have Agronomist, which requires 4 plant tags, but Ecologist also requires 4 tags, but you can also use microbe and animal tags. So this one is much easier. And for instance, sometimes you can just, if you top deck, let's say, Ecological Zone in the draft, you just get Ecologist with the 2 extra tags just like that, and it's a very good card, and that's kind of just lucky, Tycoon is probably the best performing milestone on this map if you can get it, but usually by the time someone has Tycoon, very often 3 milestones will have been claimed already. The awards are also kind of unbalanced, I would say, on this map. So many of the awards aren't easily fundable in the early or even in the middle game. So like Celebrity, the most cards costing 20 MC or more. Maybe you'll have one or two, maybe 3 expensive cards that you played, but it's really rare that you've played a lot of expensive cards. So very often the lead on Celebrity won't be big enough that you can confidently fund this early. And same with industrialist, like it's having the most steel and energy resources. That's such a swingy award that it's really hard to fund that confidently unless you have a lot of steel laying around. I mean, if you're a mining guild or something, you can probably do it, but. And then we talked about Desert Settler. Like most of the time, you're not going to be placing tiles down in the south because there are almost no resources here. So Desert Settler is usually like a late game push where you, if you need an award, you can start, and if all the good spots in the north are already taken, you can start to branch out to the south and then in order to take Desert Settler. But it's not an award you can fight for in the early game usually. Benefactor, sometimes you can get off to a big lead on that if you're like Unimi or Ecoline or something like that. But again, it can be tricky to fund that early. So the dominating award on this map is Estate Dealer, and that's the complete opposite, because Estate Dealer is having the most tiles connected to oceans. And this is an award, if you're playing on this map, you should be conscious of this award from the very start of the game, because if someone starts placing tiles in this juicy central area around the oceans, you can relatively quickly get off to a lead, and even an insurmountable lead on Estate Dealer, where you can just fund that at 8 MC pretty early. And, you know, placing tiles next to oceans is pretty good to begin with. We saw on Vestitsa's map that there's the Highlander award where you need to place tiles not adjacent to oceans. So that's kind of, in my opinion, a better designed award, because you need to balance the trade-off between getting ocean adjacencies versus being competitive on the award. But here you can do both things. So if you're like Ecoline with a bunch of plant prod, then you can just get, you know, all these good adjacencies and fund the Estate Dealer early. That's just very good. So a lot of the early middle game on this map centers around this award. This one. Okay, that was my brief introduction to the map. So let's look at my opening hand. We have Tharsis Republic and Saturn Systems. Preludes are okay. You know, Metal Rich Asteroids, Orbital Construction Yard, Smelting Plant, those are all good preludes. Donation is not. We have some decent cards, a little bit of card draw here. Advanced Ecosystems is a good point card. We have Small Animals, which is almost always a keep in the opening for me. And I think here, if we go Smelting Plant, we can turn on Small Animals earlier, and that's going to be pretty good. And like I said, this map is often dominated by the ground game, so a card like Small Animals will be better than usual. Apart from that, there's not a whole lot to be excited about here. We have a couple of oceans. They're not necessarily the best oceans, but well, I would say there's not a lot for Saturn Systems here. And being more of a ground game dominated map, I would generally lean more towards Tharsis. Just getting that early city for free can also be pretty good. We have two very premium tile locations on this map. First, there's Olympus Mons with 3 cards. That's probably the single best tile on any of the maps. 3 cards is extremely valuable. And then you have these 3 plants here. That's also very good. And these are sort of in the middle of this very good central location here. So usually what I'd want, if I have an early city, like with Tharsis, I'd want to have my city here so I can score points and get adjacency bonuses around my city. And I'd like to have a special tile on Olympus Mons, because placing a city here, you're scoring a maximum 2 points with that city, so that's not very good. We do have a special tile. We have Commercial District, and that's good early development and Some of our preludes also have steel that we can use to pay for this. The only problem is that we don't have energy production, but I think in this case it's going to be worth it to just standard an energy production to get the MC production from commercial districts and hopefully snag this Olympus Monster location. So my first plan here would be to take Farsis Republic, place the city here, and commercial district here. Of course, I'm not guaranteed to be able to do that because first we need to play our preludes, and then I need to, as my first action, place my city. And I don't want to be floating energy production, so I'll need to wait until my next turn to actually standard the power and play commercial district. By the time I'm doing that, there's a pretty good chance that my opponent will take this spot, but I think my backup plan here is to go for an early greenery conversion. So if I place my city here on 3 plants, I have 2 oceans. So for instance, if I take Metal-Rich Asteroid, I can use the titanium to pay for Conroy from Europa. We can take this ocean. Then we have 5 plants, and then we can play Subterranean Reservoir for another 2 plants. We're up to 7. And then finally, if I can afford all of that, I can standard power commercial district for another plant or 2, and then convert a greenery. I'm not as excited about that plan because that plan comes with a lot of risk. The risk being that before I'm able to get a conversion, my opponent will destroy my plants, and that's kind of a disaster because if I'm basing my entire opening around being able to get a greenery in the first gen, and then if you just play something like Demos Down or GIA or Virus, then kind of sort of ruins the entire opening for me. But if I can get all of that, it is very good. So it might still be worth it. But I think I need to be able to do all of it Gen 1 because, for instance, if I can't afford one of the oceans or commercial district Gen 1 and I'm left with floating 7 plants going into second position in the second generation, that's just too much risk. But the good thing here is that we don't have a lot of good cards, so we're probably not keeping that many cards. I'm always keeping advanced ecosystems. I'm keeping small animals. Probably keeping business network too for some card draw. Although it's not the best card draw, so you could skip it. If this card delays sort of my opening plan, I would be inclined to skip it. But apart from that, I mean, carbonate processing is mildly tempting just to get some heat production. But again, I don't have energy, so I'm not sure I want to keep that around. It could also be an option to go immigration shuttles, just take both of these titanium preludes and then with Farsis and then immigration shuttles, and afterwards maybe next gen I play commercial district, I can actually get specialist with 10 MC production. I don't think that's terrible. It's one option. I think the cards we definitely don't keep are PSC and CEOs. We have no other energy tags, so PSC is too much of a speculation for me, and CEOs it's usually a good card in the end game, but I don't want to pay 3 MC to hold this cards in my hand for 10 generations. So I end up taking these cards here. I skip on the immigration shuttles plan, and I also skip on carbonates. Okay, let's see what my opponent is playing. He is Valley Trust. Play my preludes. He plays Allied Banks, good preludes, and then Self-Sufficient Settlement, and then he goes on the 3 cards. So don't like to see that, obviously, because I wanted that spot for myself. But like I mentioned, I think it's often better to place a city here. So I'm still not too concerned because now I will initiate my backup plan of just taking all the plants in the middle. Okay, so I place my city on the free plants, get some cash back because I'm Tharsis. Then I play Convoy from Europa. Here we draw Caretaker Contract, which is useless. So at this point I'm up to 5 plants. I'm just praying for no virus or anything like that. Fortunately, he doesn't have enough money to play GIA or Demos. But any plant destruction would be pretty annoying. Okay, he plays Experimental Forest, draws Heather and Bushes, pretty good. And we get some cards revealed. Lava Flows. I mean, Terraforming Ganymede is interesting, and Demos Down is very interesting. That's, I guess, good news, although he can't play it yet. But yeah, other than that, not too interesting. And he goes here with the greenery. Personally, I think what I would have done in his position, I think I would have gone Experimental Forest first on the 3 cards, and then I would have gone probably somewhere like here with my city, just to. No, that he couldn't do that. He drew Experimental Forest, of course, from the 3 preludes, so that wasn't an option. Okay, yeah, if those 2 preludes were in his opening hand, that's what I would have done. Just forest here, city here, just to get access to both sides of the map. But okay, that wasn't an option. And then he plays Business Contacts and draws. Happy to see that because it means he doesn't have any good development plays yet. And he did draw a bunch of cards, so 3 cards here from Olympus Mons, and so it means probably much of his hand is not playable yet. Okay, I played the Subterranean Reservoir here. Now we're up to 7 plants, and I'm just crossing my fingers, hoping that he didn't draw a virus from from the Business Contacts. But he drew Arctic Algae. He plays Arctic Algae now. Good card. At least I got a couple of oceans out before that, so that's good news. And now I standard my power plant and play Commercial District, and I take 4 cash instead of 2 extra plants. I think obviously I could have gone next to my city here, just to make sure I get this good location and get a point. But I think there's more value in just being able to have access to both sides of this central ocean. And if everything goes according to plan, I'm gonna convert a greenery here pretty soon, because now I have 8 plants. He passes, fortunately, so I get to execute my plan to sort of perfection, and I get this early greenery, and I consider this a very strong start in the first generation. Okay, in the first draft we get herbivores versus nuclear zone, and I think here it's a pretty easy nuclear zone. I mean, none of us have plant prod yet. We are at 4% oxygen already, which makes herbivores better, but again, none of us have plant prod, and early nuclear zone is just so good, especially on this map where real estate is so important. So I think I have to take that. Then we get some cards that are not very interesting, and I just take the science tag just to not allow an easy AI Central or anything like that. And then I think Space Station is much better than Cloud Seeding. But it's just a nuclear zone here for me. And don't do a lot of cards, but I have this nuclear zone play, and afterwards I can do my card draw. Okay, he plays Protected Valley next to a city. Decent. Protected Valley can be a pretty good card for a state dealer because it can connect with a lot of oceans. It is obviously tempting to go next to the city. It is a consideration that maybe you could have gone on a card just again to get access to more parts of the map and and stuff like that, but I think it's okay what he did. Okay, play my nuclear zone, get the heat production bonus, and I draw flooding, which I think is a pretty good card. I'm obviously here going for an early estate dealer, trying to secure that award, and having control over where the oceans go is pretty important in that case. And I place nuclear zone here. It is not ideal that I, go next to one of my existing tiles when I have a special tile that I can place wherever I want. I could have gone down in the south on some cards, maybe to fight for Desert Settler later on. I have access to more cards, and maybe I could have tried to nerf his city and have access to this card later on. Maybe I could have gone over here, but disregarding the fact that this tile is already available to me, I think it's probably the best one, because 2 MC back in a card is pretty useful. And, flooding is not the worst card. Then I play my business network, because now we have decent MC production and a lot of cash, so I can afford that. I draw Search for Life, and I thought about this for a while, because Search for Life is not really doing anything for me yet. It doesn't really help on any milestones or awards. I have no science payoffs. I don't have Mars or Olympus, and it's also about to turn off. But I think I did end up taking it just because of the potential upside of having a science tag if we need it. And I have enough money and not much going on that I think I can afford to just speculate on that. And then I play flooding, and I don't flood him. I take the card here. And in general, like, flooding is good on this map because you can control an ocean, but I can also control an ocean in the sense that I don't go next to any of his tiles, because I'd rather not make him competitive on a state dealer, being such an important award. I draw Lava Tube Settlement, pretty good for Farsis, obviously, but not that good. I mean, Lava Tube Settlement is pretty bad on Elysium. You have this, and this location. Unlike Hellas, where you can place it wherever you want, here you need to go on the edge of the map, which is certainly not ideal. It's great if you can take Olympus Mons, but that one's already taken. And I also don't have energy production, so I'm not too excited. And here I get immediately rewarded for taking the science tag. We find Olympus Conference. I don't think it's a snap pick, because it's also up against Optimal Air Braking, which is certainly a premium card. But it certainly is between these two. Biomass can be good, but again, none of us have Plant Broad. But I do take the Olympus Conference, and I'm pretty happy that I kept Search for Life. Some bad cards here. Take Building Industries, although I don't think it's going to be played. I don't have energy again, and I'd rather use my energy for Lava Tube Settlement probably. And then we get Zeppelins versus Biomass, and Biomass Combustors is a pretty good card. Zeppelins is not a good card, so naturally I take Zeppelins. But what's happening here is I saw an opportunity for me. So he is at 8 MC production, probably getting close to Specialist. He probably has plans of taking Specialists, but I have 51 MC, so if I can play my Lava Tube Settlement with my Tharsis ability, this will be 3 MC production. I'm up to 8. There are then 3 cities on the map, and if I then play Zeppelins for 3 MC production, paying 16 MC to get a point in 3 MC production is not good, but that would mean that I can actually snipe Specialist away from him, and I think that's going to be worth it. And giving away Biomass Combustors when none of us have Plant Broad yet, I don't think it's too impactful, especially considering we have small animals and he has herbivores. Okay, so I keep the Zeppelins, and I intend on taking Specialist here, but because of tempo, if he has it, he has it, so I'm not gonna rush that. I draw and I find geothermal power, so that is nice, because I was probably planning on standarding another energy production for lava tube settlement, so now we can pay the same 11 MC plus the free from buying the card to get 2 production. That's much better. And I play the power straight away. I mean, if we saw PSC in the opening, so at most he can energy tap one of my energy productions. I don't know, that's not too big of a deal. Okay, he plays Marsu. So obviously I'd rather have Marsu than Olympus, but it is what it is. He is Valley Trust, so when he plays Marsu, he's probably going to play more science tags with a 2MC discount, so kind of scary. And then he plays Advanced Alloys to cycle. Doesn't have any mineral production yet, but we just gave him Building Industries, so maybe he's planning to get that online. Okay. I do play my lava tube settlement, and I think there are arguments for going here. There is also an argument for going here. This one gets a point, and I could potentially block him from getting more tiles next to these oceans here. So I think I go on Arcia Mons here. I like that best. And yeah, now I have exactly 21 MC. So what I do here is I skip my second action, because if he just plays some cheap MC production, like sponsors and claims specialists, then I'm probably not playing Zeppelins. I don't think it's a very good play. But if he doesn't, I can pay 13 MC for Zeppelins, and then I have exactly 8 MC to claim specialist before it's his turn. And he passes, so I go through that plan, and I take specialist just in time with just enough money. And I think that was worth it. Okay, we get kind of a crappy draft here. I think maybe the only relevant cards here are fuel generators and acquired. He can play acquired. I don't think it's that good Gen 4 to pay 13 MC for 3 MC production. So when specialist is no longer a consideration, so I think the power is more important here when he doesn't have power. And we get 2 science tags, as well as local heat trapping. But I think we need to respect the science when we have Olympus and he has Marsu, and I think Lagrange is the best one. That also draws an additional card. These cards are just total trash, whatever. And we also get local heat trapping back. We're not at 5 heat just yet. We have a little bit of heat production, but once we are, I think there's a good chance that local heat trapping will be decent. We're approaching the 8% bonus here, and we might be able to standard a greenery and play local heat trapping and get the bonus temperature bump. So I buy that card. And I think another reason is the fight for milestones. So we are now at 3 out of 5 on Legend. And I think there's a pretty good chance we get to Legend before he gets any. I mean, he's probably getting Ecologist at this point with 3 out of 4 tags, but after that, I mean, our Legend is probably the most likely. So a cheap event like that is going up in value. Okay, he does play the acquired company. That is neither here nor there, but we draw a fantastic card, a giant ice asteroid. One of the best cards in the game, and on this map, honestly, probably the best card on this map, because this is a terraforming friendly map. This is the best terraforming card, and you also control a couple of oceans. And in this case, when he has Arctic algae, it's even better, because that means I can time it so that I can give him 4 plants and they then just take them away again. But that'll be for next gen. There's no rush to play that. But he does get to play optimal air braking into imported hydrogen. He goes next to one of his tiles. Honestly, I probably would have gone here, because that gives him 3 tiles for Estate Dealer, and then he might even go here later next to my city just to be competitive on that award. But like I said, this was his first time playing the map, and maybe Estate Dealer wasn't necessarily well, I guess he must have been thinking about it when he went here, but instead of taking the rebate. But yeah, I would have at least considered going here. Okay, he gets a greenery next to the ocean and next to the city, so that's good. Can't complain too much about that. Okay, we draw standard tech, a good card, and again, better on this terraforming friendly map, and it's also a Olympus cycle potentially. Okay, I skip because I'm not planning to do anything else. He plays the imported GHG, which is better with his optimal. Skips, I pass, and we go to the next draft. Okay, in this draft we find Invention Contests. One of the cards I mentioned as a good legend card. And it's really good timing because I'm planning to play Giant Ice Asteroid this generation, and then I'll have enough money to also play Invention Contest and claim Legend before he can get it, probably. And it's even better with my Olympus Conference, and none of the other cards here are that good, so I think it's an easy Invention Contest. And then thought a little bit about this draft because none of these cards are like especially good in this situation. I think Gen 5, it's going to be a little late for Vesta Shipyard. He doesn't have any Joves. Extreme Cold Fungus could be decent with the GHD producing bacteria. We just passed him, but Farming is also a good card. I took Vesta Shipyard. I'm not so sure about that. I think I just forgot probably that I just passed him GHD producing bacteria because that combination with Extreme Cold Fungus is pretty good. So I think I should have cut the Extreme Cold Fungus there. But I don't think it's a big disaster because the situation we're going to be claiming our second milestone, and we're also looking pretty good on Estate Dealer. So I think we're getting off to an early lead. So if he wants to spend a lot of money to increase the temperature track, I don't really mind that. Okay, it's just the Invention Contest for me, and I play Giant Ice Asteroid. I don't get full value because I give him 4 plants, but at least I can take away 5 plants from him, and that's very valuable. So one of the big benefits of Arctic Algae, having Arctic Algae, is that you can get like a lot of instant plants at the same time to get an immediate conversion. And taking away that ability with GIA is just great. So just need to make sure I give him the plants first before I take them away. And I place the oceans here. Also considered going on titanium just to have oceans further away from his tiles, but I'm pretty confident right now that I'm probably going to have an easy Estate Dealer fund because I'm also planning to play local heat trapping pretty soon. And after that, I might even standard a greenery in the central location. It's going to be pretty hard for him to catch up. But I play the Invention Contest first. I think that's important for Legend tempo because then he can't catch up. And of these cards, Martian Survey is dead. Fish is alright, but again, none of us have plant prod and herbivores and small animals and are out there. And temperature is not advancing that quickly, so fish is not as good as it can be sometimes. And shuttles is an alright card that's already online, so I take that. And he does employ the GHD producing bacteria, and then he claims ecologist. So I'm forced to claim Legend this generation, but I have more than enough money to do that. So I draw a card first, and it's protected habitats, and I think that's you know, pretty good cards here. I'm floating 4 plants at the moment, and I plan on playing local heat trapping to get 4 more plants. So protecting those plants has some value. So I immediately play that. He gets algae online. That's pretty good. But it's sort of looking like plant production is not going to be that good in this this game because of oxygen is rising quickly, and because of the animals and so on. So not really too concerned to see that. Instead, I just play small animals on him immediately. So that's pretty good for me. He raises temperature, adds some bacteria. He didn't get ECF online just yet, so that'll have to wait. I place power plant, skips, and a pass. Okay, I'm usually pretty excited to see insects in the draft, but here it's not that good. I don't have any plant tags at the moment. He has 4, so I have to cut it in any case, but it's not going to be that good for me. Artificial is another science tag for him with Marsu, and could enable further science payoffs. But he also has a ton of money and some steel production, so I think Space Elevator is also a card that will allow him to keep scaling. So I do take that card. I don't think Artificial is that good, but there was a consideration to be had whether cutting the science tag was more important, maybe. I took Insects, so I'll also take Grass there. I think it's better than Fuel Factory. Not too excited about Grass. I mean, if I play it, I just basically give him Herbivores, and yeah, it's looking like Insects might not even be played this game. Though I do want to get my advanced ecosystems online at some point, so I think I do need to keep Insects here, but I'm not all that excited about it. Okay, he does play the science tag. That's his 4th. Get some more energy. And at this point, it's looking like maybe Industrialist might be a fund for him. He did play House Printing last gen, which is a really inefficient card at this stage of the game, which could seem to indicate that he's vying for Industrialist, but I'm not sure. He does also play the Fuel Factory. Also seems kind of marginal, but he does have advanced alloys, so that's probably why. I guess it's okay, but it's pretty late in the game to be playing those kinds of cards, in my opinion. Okay, I draw a card. It's Miranda Resort. I do have 3 Earth tags, but I think this one is a skip for me at this point. It's pretty much too late in the game to be paying that much money for just free MC production. Okay. Play my Lagrange. I get restricted area, and that is something I'm more excited to see because that's more card draw. It would allow me to keep scaling. There's no guarantee that the temperature track is gonna fill up, and we're sort of relying on his GHG producing bacteria to take temperature, and if he wants to stall the temperature track, that's within his powers, so I'd rather have some more card draw to allow me to keep scaling. And I don't have a lot of playable cards on hand either, so yeah, it's a really good card, and titles are pretty valuable in this map. I do end up blocking this spot up here just to deny him the card and the ability to get 1 more tile on Estate Dealer, and yeah, get the card for myself. I mean, AMC is useless for us, and then when we cycle and get I guess I drew Solar Wind Power here. I already had AMC, but that's also not that good, but it could be playable. Then I draw with restricted area, get Satellites, also not really interesting. So now I play the standard tech and draw Asteroids, and here I'm basically what I'm doing here is I'm setting up. So now I have 7 heat, which means I can play my local heat trap and get up to 8 plants. We're at 6% oxygen, and then I can convert plants and also SP a granary with standard technology to get the bonus temperature bump. I think that's going to be a pretty decent play, especially considering I don't have a lot of playable cards at the moment. I mean, Asteroid's a nice card, so I'm probably going to play that, but I'm rich enough that I can afford all of these things. So we go up to 8 plants, and I convert them right away on the 6 MC back, so that's pretty good. And do play the shuttles. It's marginal, but it's going to discount some space cards and get some production, so I guess it's sort of okay. Okay, Psychrophiles is dead, and Beam's not playable for any of us. Titanium Mine is a bit late. Strip Mine is playable for him, but I'm about to take the bonus temperature bump, and it's pretty late to be playing Strip Mine, honestly, so I take Beam. It's I'm not sure why I did that. I mean, maybe he's going to play a Jove and be able to play that, but yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I was thinking about Industrialist with the energy production. Really don't remember why I took this card, but maybe I wanted to bait him into playing Strip Mine. Here I take Eos Chasma with insects. That might be good, and I have an animal, so yeah, I think it's the best card here. Then I take Titanium Mines, and Psychros are dead. And I do keep Eos Chasma. I think that's good enough. I don't have steel to spend on it. I don't have a 1-point animal, so it's not that good, but it could be okay. Okay, I go ahead and standard the granary next to my city here to get the bonus temperature, and I'm pretty happy about that. And then I fund Estate Dealer. So at this point, I'm up 6-2, and it's much easier for me to convert and get tiles on even more ocean adjacencies. So he could get 2 more tiles here, but then I also have access to this spot. So there's a little bit of risk, but I think I'm most likely getting Estate Dealer. Okay, moving on. He plays the Design Microorganisms. And draws Marsu. Skips second action. I am not sure why he's skipping second action, but probably because he needs a two action sequence for something. Play the Indentured Workers, and yeah, then he plays the Strip Mine. Not sure why he needed to skip for that, but yeah, I gave him Strip Mine a while back. I wasn't really too afraid of that. I think playing Gen 7 Strip Mine, even with advanced alloys, is not really that great, to be honest. It's not hopeless, but I think probably had better options. Okay, raise temperature. Play Asteroid, take out 3 of his plants, and if you look at our score right now, I'm up by 18 points, and he just spent all his money this gen, so I'm leading here, and we're getting sort of closer towards the end on most parameters, and I do have standard technology, so most likely I'll try to hasten the end of the game. Plantation is a good card. He passes, I add an animal. And here I do play grass. Since he passed, he's probably going to herbivores me next gen, which is unfortunate, but he doesn't have that much plant prod, so I think maybe now with these plant tags, I might finally actually play insects. But I'm not sure, because I'm only getting 1 plant prod from grass, and maybe I should have just avoided giving him herbivores. Not sure. Okay, we go to the next gen. This was slightly interesting because Dev Center is a bit scary to give to him with Marsu and alloyed minerals and all this stuff. And he has 5 science tags, maybe he has AGT. But he currently doesn't have energy production. And we're in Gen 8. Like I said, I have standard tech, so there's a good chance I can sort of SP my way out of this game with my lead. So I decide I'd rather take land claim because that's going to be that could be pretty annoying for a state dealer. These cards don't really matter that much. Corporate could be good for Tharsis, but with standard tech, I think I'd rather just SP a city. He doesn't have any Jovians, so Callisto is not exactly scary. I took Lightning Harvest. I don't think that's a very good card either, but you know, he might need the power. I think my whole area is better than that like in here. Not that it really matters. And I do keep land claim. I think it might sometimes come in clutch. It's a card I almost never keep, but for some reason I've kept this card in several of my recent games that I reviewed on this channel, but usually doesn't really yield any results. So I'm not sure why I keep doing that, but you know. He does play Dev Center to draw, to cycle with Marsu, but he can't really draw this gen, so I don't really mind that too much. And he does play the Herbivores. We knew he had that, so maybe, you know, unnecessary to allow that. But I draw Lake Marineris pretty good because at this point I'm in such a lead that I'm probably looking to SP some asteroids, and then we might be able to get Lake, which would be great. Okay, but first things first. So I do SP a city. I think at this point I basically just need like one more tile to pretty much guarantee a state dealer. There's always some shenanigans you can pull off with tiles in the ocean areas like Mangrove, Protected Valley, and especially Artificial Lake, stuff like that. So better be on the safe side. I get 2 cash back in some plants, and I am Tharsis, and I have standard tech, so it's a pretty efficient city. But I don't have a lot of plants, so it's not like I'm going to score a ton of points with this city. But as far as the cost of the city, it's not that bad. Okay, he plays the physics complex. So now he played Dev Center and Physics, both of which cycle cards, but they're not really doing much on their own because he doesn't have any energy production. And then, you know, predictably, he does play the AGT, the anti-gravity technology, but he's pretty much run out of cash here. So while he did get AGT online, it was very expensive for him to do so, and he doesn't really have a big follow-up at this point in time. So personally, I might have waited until the next gen, unless he has some sort of follow-up here. So I do play Plantation here, and at this point I have I'm up 8-2 on estate dealers. I pretty much think that's a lock. Okay, he activates the bacteria. He plays Heather with the discount, but I think that was the only card he played here. I also get to convert to greenery. So at this point, I just convert next to my city here, just to score some points. And I think estate dealer is locked up. And if Desert Settler ever becomes funded, at least I'm starting to get some tiles on that. So that, you know, might discourage him from funding that award. Okay, we go to the next draft. Again, we get some pretty inconsequential cards. Cupola City is dead, and these other cards aren't really doing much. So I just cut the science tag, although I don't think it's going to be very good for him, even with Marsu. Yeah, Immigrant City, that's a city. I don't really intend on keeping that because I have 3 cities already, so it's not like I'm even filling those cities with greeneries anyway. So it's pretty much a skip all for me, and he buys free cards. Makes sense. He has discounts and minerals to pay for cards and so on. Not that we saw like any great cards in that draft or anything. So I suppose he kept the sponsors from that pack. I'm not sure. Don't remember. But here I fund Benefactor. So we're in Gen 9. I'm up 11 on Benefactor, and The way I look at this, I'm now leading by 28 points. Even if he tries to fight me on Benefactor, flipping that is not going to be enough to win the game. And if he does that, we just sort of hasten the end of the game, and I'm going to basically win. So he can't really terraform. So I think Benefactor is very safe for me. He needs to stall the temperature track basically to have any sort of chance. And meanwhile, also, one of the things I looked at when funding this is, do I have enough cash next gen to actually end in 10 generations? And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 bumps left here. I imagine the oxygen and it's gonna go pretty soon, and I do have Lake Marineris for the final 2 oceans. So 10 times 11 with standard tech is 110 MC, and that's an additional, sort of, I guess with rebates for Lake Marineris, it's gonna be something like 12 MC. So something like 122 MC. If I look at my cash situation, 90, 102, 117. So it looks like with the cash I have, as long as the oxygen track maxes out, I'll actually be able to SP out this game in the next generation. And if I do that, I think I'm going to have more than enough points to win. He plays a city, Noctis City. Down here, it's a bit late for a state dealer, and well, I activate my card draw. I bought large convoy there. Not exactly sure why I did that. Maybe in case there's only 1 ocean left when we get to 0 degrees, that maybe if I can afford to play large convoy instead of Lake Marineris, that's going to be more points. Maybe that was my thinking. I think even if I buy this card, I still have enough money to end next gen, so it's not going to be a problem. He plays Viral Enhancers, cycles a card, and converts the greenery down here, so it's looking like he might possibly fund Desert Settler, but it's going to cost him 20 MC, and he doesn't have a lot of money. Okay, I raise temperature. I SP an asteroid. We're up to -8 degrees, and he plays the Inventor's Guild for more card draw, but I think that's a little bit too little too late. I mean, it's a pretty expensive card to be playing that late in the game. And that could be a good card if you assume that the game is going to last, at least 11, probably like 12. If it's going 12 or 13 generations, then a Gen 9 Inventor's Guild could be okay, but I don't think he's necessarily rich enough where he can afford to do that. But he does only have 5 or now 4 cards left. Media group into permafrost, get some Arctic algae plants. So that sort of kills, or at least takes away some Lake Marineris value for me, but I'm not too concerned about that. It just means it's going to be cheaper for me to end the game probably. And he does play bushes, gets even more plant production. Adds bacteria, and we go to the next draft. Okay, I took capital. I think Magfield generators could potentially be decent for him with this alloyed steel if he somehow has quantum or mass. But capital could be several points in this location, but at the moment he doesn't have energy production. I don't think either of those cards are particularly scary. Asteroid mining, he has 7 titanium, alloyed titanium, so might as well cut it. Even that's not really that scary, and these cards are kind of dead, so I don't keep any cards. I have a very simple plan. I'm gonna hit the standard project asteroid button a bunch of times and hope to end the game. He standards the city down here. pretty much a concession because that's not going to be efficient enough scoring to be anywhere close to catching up, although I don't think there was any type of combination of cards that would allow that anyway. This, as long as we can end this gen, I think we got it. So okay, he finally develops the dev center. Take an animal, just stall a little bit, sell some cards. He plays open city down here, so it's pretty good scoring at this point for him. It's just a little late, so I think maybe a problem for him here is that, first of all, I got 2 milestones, but also I was allowed to get these 2 early funds, award funds. So even this pretty good scoring, efficient scoring from him is not nearly enough to catch up. He does have mass converter. Again, it's really good engine cards, like a lot of good engine cards here, but it's just, I think it's coming a little bit too slow. Plays tech demo for some more cards. That is also good. I just sell a few cards because if I can avoid it, I'd rather not let him get the bonus ocean here. Not that I think it matters, but I'd rather have it for myself, just to optimize my score basically. But he plays Towing a Comet, so that means I'm probably not playing Lake Mariners because there's only 1 ocean left. And he converts, so pretty good grid of cities and greeneries down here. So if this was a closer game, this would be very scary, like this sort of stuff happening here, and you could fund Desert Settler and so on. I just keep stalling. I don't really have any good plays. I mean, I think my best scoring among these cards is Advanced Ecosystems, but to get that, I need to play Eos Chasm and then Insect, so I'll just wait on that and see if I can afford it. Okay, just some more stalling, not much going on. Yeah, he... at this point, I think he's basically conceding the game because he increases temperature and just gives the bonus ocean to me. So I don't know, he was probably a little bit, zoned out at this part because he realized that he was in a lost position. So yeah, just raise the temperature. He got to play the mag field generators. I SP a couple of asteroids. It's pretty much, almost like my most efficient scoring at this point anyway. And it also shows that, well, he did almost catch up a little bit. He did catch up a little bit on Benefactor, but it was never really in danger. We get some more greeneries and Irby's value, so it's pretty good scoring actually. It's just so now he's only like 7 points behind, but again, I'm sitting on so much cash, which was that I've saved up by basically not playing any cards in the last couple of gens, just going for standard projects. But now I finally get to play Eos Chasma into insects and into ecosystems, so that's going to get me bunch of points and an extra greenery. So I think that was my most efficient scoring. I didn't really bother to calculate whether SP greenery would have been better, but I think that was my most efficient scoring. I didn't have any funds left. He just SP'd a greenery. He could have funded Desert Settler for some extra points, 3 more points, but it didn't really matter. And yeah, final conversion phase, and he also converts, gets some herbivores. I convert, and we get to the end result. And as often happens in a Gen 10 end, it's the fast Terraformer setup that won. I think if we gone 11 gens, there's danger that he catches up with his plant production, herbivores, and his alloyed minerals and card draw and all that. So there's still a chance that I do win. in Gen 11. But I mean, my scoring wasn't that efficient this gen because I simply just standard a bunch of asteroids. But I think it was a pretty decisive win, basically due to getting these milestones and awards. That was the main difference in this game, and also that his engine buildup was a little bit too slow for a 10 generation game. But anyway, that means I advance to the next round, and there are 29 participants in this tournament, so there are many games to go if I want to make it all the way to the end, which is doubtful with all of these good players, but we'll see. So hope you enjoyed this game review, and I'll see you around for the next one.